This movie helped me realize how much I might judge personalities based solely on the hairstyles. Ghost in a Shell is 2017 remake of a 1995 movie Ghost in a Shell that was directed by Mamoru Oshii, which in turn was based on the long-running 1989 manga by Masamu Deshiro. Original movie is a well-established anime classic and is well known for its philosophical and psychological themes, most notably mind, both natural and artificial, body, and the relationship of two. Look up Cartesian Dualism and Arthur Kessler's Ghost in the Machine book for more information on that. 1999 film also skimmed over futuristic concerns and hit existential notes now and then, and is generally recognized as a more mature and serious rendition of a light-hearted manga. After years of negotiating for rights to produce the Hollywood movie adaptation, it is finally here. The movie was made by Rupert Sanders, who have directed such classics as Snow White and the Huntsman, and that's pretty much it. It's his second big-budget feature production. During a Q&A session, director himself said about 1995 movie, "I think it's too philosophical and too introspective. That's why so many people like about it, and I hope that we channel that into the film, but hopefully build a bigger film around it." Fuck you.
Where he's start back a little bit and then just sit up into it, push him up, and then that will end with the neck push.
This movie was okay, I guess, but I wanted to stab myself at least a few times. Settings look cool. Everybody was saying that, all the critics, and hey, they actually are very cool. The city landscapes look believable, but honestly overcrowded with just stuff going on everywhere. However, smaller sets, rooms, buildings, and streets look very good and stylistically on point. There is a lot of nice small touches in the world. For example, cars have a very distinctive 1990s feel to them, and yet they look very futuristic. They look like 1990s concept cars. Not at any point I was bored or bombarded by action too much. I wasn't feeling much dread while watching the movie and leaving the movie theater. Plot was basic and a bit shite, but it was well fitting with the rhythm and capacities of the format. It had simple arc, it had been done before, it's passable. The villain was okay, Takeshi Kitano on his revolver. There was no deep psychological philosophical themes. They didn't attempt to do what they obviously couldn't, which is a good thing. No, really. Characters have very cool jackets. I unironically enjoyed them. There was a scene when they fed dogs. I enjoyed that. Scarlet Johansson hair. She fucking looks cool as fuck. It was the first time when I seen myself being physically attracted to her, ever, which says a lot about how much of a lost soul I am. There is a scene that looks like a James Bond opening. And now moving swiftly to the things that made me wanna stab myself. There was very forced "she is a human" theme. Major Kusanagi is a human brain and a mechanical body, and every opportunity they have, they try to show she is also a human. Scarlet Johansson and her doll-like beauty. Original movie made it clear, at least to me, that Major Kusanagi does not possess a top model face. She was not ugly in the movie, but she was not a doll-like creature like in the manga. That made her character more relatable and less cartoonish. Scarlett Johansson, on the other hand, feels like Scarlett Johansson. Major Kusanagi complains all the time. Although she is aware of that scientists are responsible for keeping her alive, she constantly nags and complains about how everybody plays with her mind and how they build her. She honestly seems like a 14-year-old in this movie, which might make sense in the context of the plot, yet it's still very annoying. If Scarlett Johansson played those scenes more uninvolved, it would have been great, because it wouldn't be dramatic, but skeptical and ironic, which I think suits Kusanagi character very well. This shit got me rustled. Fanservice is a horrible thing. They literally copy-pasted whole scenes from the original movie with zero understanding what those scenes were about. That made me very sad. Scenes that had symbolic meaning started having literal meaning and were forcefully inserted in the screenplay. I understand that they were making a remake, and there are certain elements that should be recognizable, but not to the point of just recreating scenes. There is a scene where Scarlet Johansson goes and takes a hooker, and then touches her face, and that's it. That's the scene.
And don't you fucking dare to even imply that this scene has deep philosophical and self-reflective nature. Because it fucking doesn't! Spoilers.
The main villain, that I call Corporation Guy, uses brains of rebellious anti-technology teenagers and literally inserts them into like full robotic bodies. How that could possibly backfire? And they specifically say that this is cutting edge technology and they have no idea how it will work out, so why? In general, plot convenience guide characters' decisions sometimes more than logic. For example, again, there is a mother of the donor girl immediately lets unknown stranger into her house and just like, hey, let's drink tea with her, and during the conversation she just randomly says that stranger looks like her daughter, although stranger looks nothing like her daughter, and she just randomly says that her daughter died around the time when Major Kusaragi was assembled, created, just kinda out of the blue. Takeshi Kitano on his revolver. First 3 minutes of the original movie explain around the same amount of stuff as the first 15 of this one. And yet in the original movie it is not so much in your fucking face. In this one they explain every single little thing. At some points it's so painful it becomes amusing. The dialogue of the evil corporation guy with the scientist is unintentionally comedic. There is a scene that looks like Bond opening. An established brand you cannot fucking lose. So you might as well take Rob Sandals to direct it. What difference it honestly makes? Dualism. What the fuck is even dualism? Do you honestly think that average anybody will care or know what the fuck is it? The nerds will buy anything that has a vaguely familiar badge on it. The real nerds will be like, oh my god, them practical special effects! And Chinese people, they will buy it. They will just buy it. And a vaguely erotical scene suggesting lesbian connotation with black woman and bingo bongo, you got Tumblr crowd. Ooh. With all that marketing thought, the movie just still did okay. As of now, it made up 40 million from the original budget, but with marketing taken into account and long process of licensing and negotiations, I think it might be right now just barely evening out, because honestly marketing was everywhere. At least where I live, this shit was everywhere. It's actually very funny that the metaphors used in A Ghost in the Shell can be applied to analysis of this movie. Let's say the ghost is the feel of the movie, the underlying theme, the emotional background, a soul. Then visuals, scene building, and the narrative are shell of the movie, the stuff that we actually see. The movie has a lot of similarities to the original one, some of which are straight up just copies, near exact replicas of the shell, and yet the ghost is drastically different. Just we might say the shell is willing, but the ghost is weak. About this movie, you know? You know what I mean? Because it was Easter. It was Easter a few days ago. It's topical commentary right here. This movie felt to me like a third rebuild of Evangelion. I felt sentiment and dread with a pinch of excitement in all of that. And just like Evangelion 3, it's a good product. And yet, it's a shell of what it was.